Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my humble home in Livingston, Montana. Let me make sure my microphone's going here. Sometimes I start up these movie files and forget to turn my microphone on. Anyway, it is Sunday the 28th of February of 2021. And what I've got going here is an Army story back in my service days, if you're so inclined. If you don't like my stories, I suggest you get gone, but this isn't a very long-winded story if I can just contain myself here. Okay, I took AIT, that's Advanced Individual Training, or MOS, Military Occupational Specialty, in a place called Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. Fort Monmouth, New Jersey is no longer there, but at the time, back in that early 70s, it used to be the United States Army's most elite signal school, because I'm a signal corpsman, which is neither here nor there, I guess. But anyway, as long as we didn't have duty on the weekend, or we weren't in trouble with the old man or the first shirt or any of this other stuff, we could take leave, after we had a week of training, a week of classrooms, a week of whatever. The weekends were usually ours. We could, like in my case, going into New York City was a 45-minute bus ride into the Big Apple. You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, I'm glad you know what I'm talking about, because at the time, I damn sure didn't know. I mean, can you imagine a guy like me, fresh off the ranches of Montana, standing outside of Grand Central Station, looking up at all them big skyscrapers, looking out on, boardwalk there, and beholding all these wonderful sights that I never thought existed. I mean, New York City is so far from the plains and mountains and valleys of Montana, it's not even funny. Neither here nor there. But anyway, this buddy of mine and I had taken a bus ride into the Big Apple, and we were just trucking down the street. I can't even remember where we were going, if we were going to a bar or a cat house or whatever, but, if I remember right, we weren't up to too much devilment. We were just being your typical GI stupid tourists, if you will. And anyway, this guy, and he was of some ethnic background, not black, but I think it was kind of like Puerto Rican or something, whatever. I'm not trying to be racial here, because I don't give a damn, what race he was. That's not what but he definitely wasn't like me, let's put it to you that way, which means nothing. But he comes up to me like this, and you know the old joke, guys and gals, where you've got somebody on the street corners of New York City and they open up their coat like this and they got a bunch of skillets and watches and stuff hanging there, and, they're street hustlers, Well, back in them days, I didn't know a damn thing about street hustling or any of that stuff. I didn't know anything about red light districts, whores, drug dealing, any of that kind of stuff, But anyway, this dude, he connects up with me. We start conversing. He goes, "Hey, man," he says, "how would you like to, I got me a hot watch here." And I'm going, "Hot watch?" I didn't even hardly know what the hell that meant, And my buddy's standing there going, "Stolen." This buddy of mine was from Cincinnati, Ohio, and he couldn't believe some of the crap I used to get myself involved with because I was a stupid bumpkin out of Montana. And anyway, so this guy says, "Yeah, man," he says, "I got this watch. He says, I'll give it to you for $250, And I'm going, $250, man. I don't even make that in 10 years in the Army, He goes, "Well, what can you give me for it?" We started this bartering thing. And my buddy kept grabbing me. He goes, "Come on, Jim." He says, "This is all a scam here. So I don't trust this guy, And he's trying to get me out of the deal. So this guy kept working on my noggin, He says, "How about 200?" And I go, "Hell," he says, "if you're going to cut it down like that, how about 100, And we just kept doing that, bartering, whatever here. And finally, I got him down to, going up and, down the ladder here. I got him to $25. He says $25 is as low as I can go. And so I told this buddy of mine, he was kind of standing off, kind of over by a building because he knew he wasn't going to convince my blockhead of anything, he wasn't going to get any common sense in me. Let's put it to you that way. So I told my buddy, I said, look here, I says, I got this stolen $250 watch down to $25. What do you think? And this buddy of mine says, I think you're a damn fool. That's what I think. I like guys to speak their mind. But anyway, because I damn sure do. But so anyway, I give this dude $25, for this watch, I remember it was a real shiny, fancy looking thing and it had Omega. You know that word Omega, guy? They still make them Omega watches. Omega on there, and looked at it, and man, boy, this watch was just a cat's meow. I thought, boy, I strapped it on and went trucking down the street, and I'd never had a good watch in my day, That's the truth too, Oh, yeah, them Mickey Mouse Timexes, they give out on you, you might get 2 weeks out of them if you're lucky, But anyway, we go back, we get off a leave, and we go back to Fort Monmouth, and, resume our regular duties. And I remember this all too well. Only about 3.5, 4 days went by, no more than 4 days, and that watch just up and quit. Quit. And I fumbled with it and turned the crown and screwed around with everything. Nothing worked, So there was this jewelry shop outside of Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, and Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, back, by the way, was near a place right beside a little burg there in New Jersey called Eatontown. So in Eatontown, there was this jeweler, and I took this watch in, and I says, hey, Mac, I said, can you take a look at this and tell me what's wrong with it? And, he took the watch, and he's got his little, monocular glass, one of these kind of things on here like this, and he's looking it over, and he says, well, he says, I'll tell you what, more than likely you got here, you probably got screwed. And I look at this guy, and I said, say what? And he says, look, let me ask you something. He says, where'd you buy this at? He says, before I could even answer, he says, I bet you bought this in the Big Apple, New York City, didn't you? I said, yeah, I did. Got me one hell of a deal. I got this thing for $25. He said, no, once again, he said, you got screwed here. He says, let me tell you, son, what they do. These street hustlers buy these really expensive looking cases, and they're only worth the case of watch. He said they're only worth like a couple of bucks, and they're real fancy, shiny looking, but they're fake as all hell. And then they get these $6, I remember that all too well, precisely what he said, these $6 cheap Swedish movements. You can buy them all day long. They buy them by the case full. They stuff them in these fancy-looking cases, and they'll sell them to idiots like you. Well, I don't think he called me an idiot, but a dumbbell or something, for whatever they can get. As long as they make, even a few dollars. They've only got about $10 invested in these watches. I said, you got to be kidding me. And so this same buddy of mine that was with me when that deal went down, he's over there ribbing me, See, I told you, Boren. I tell you, and I wanted to, knock his ass. I just wanted to punch him in the face, okay? I wanted to punch somebody in the face. Man, I was let down. I was hurt, mad. Holy crap, man. After that, I never did buy no deals out of New York City. That's the end of this story, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you that you've had relatives or GI relatives of yours or people from, remote places in the United States that fell into this same kind of a deal before, because coming off of the ranches in Montana, I knew a lot, but I never knew a lot about city living. Okay, adios, my friends. Take care of yourselves, and we shall see you on down the trail. And what do we got into this? About 10 minutes? Okay, goodbye.